Look, Vega, I know you're busy running a cathedral and all, but making stupid videos on the internet is much more important than enforcing religion. On second thought, this was a big mistake.
That depends. What material do you have?
Foster's abomination to mankind.
You can't possibly mean...
Oh yes, I really mean it.
You know what? The cathedral can wait.
So I guess I'm giving context now. Well, there once was a guy named Ellis Mark, and he made a video explaining why he doesn't like Butch Hartman's YouTube channel. Butch Hartman, for those who are unaware, is the creator of cartoons like Barely Odd Parents and Danny Phantom. Then along came a guy named Kainu. He made a video covering that.
And then a commentator by the name of Undead Meowth covered Kainu's video. Kainu was less than satisfied with Meowth's video, so he co-opted with Sarah Dust to come over and commentate on Meowth.
Finally, some random guy named Foster called in an edgy cat over to collaborate with him. He also brought over an inaudible flamingo named Citrus, who barely even exists. Without further ado, let's begin.
Hey Foster, Citrus got this top shelf nug of catnip, bro. Whoa, you wanna hit this, mate?
I don't see why not. Catnip's pretty cool, man.
Worth a shot. Oh damn, that's wild.
Oh whoa, what's in this?
It doesn't say. The only thing here is for cat consumption only. What's that, Foster man?
I guess it's bad content!
Oh dear Satan, have mercy on his fat ass.
Wait, hold up. What is this? Is this supposed to be their names individually? Because this is just a really cluttered mess of names that makes it look like a Steven Universe fan fusion.
Even though all Steven Universe gems and fusions are named after gemstones in the real world, but I digress. Steven Universe fans are just really weird. But to actually critique this skit, it's really bad. Meowth just sounds like he doesn't want to be here. Foster, who is at least trying, albeit too hard, sounds like a 4-year-old with ADHD on a sugar rush. He's putting way too much energy into his voice, and I had to go out of my way to watch this video several times just to understand what Citrus said at times. I shouldn't have to watch the same part of a video over and over and over again just so that I can understand what's being said. That's dumb. And if she wants to get a better recording software, I've heard that you can record your voice well on phones. So like, I don't know, do that.
This just makes their intros get hard to sit through since it's all over the place. Their line deliveries were subpar at best or not well executed at worst.
Dee, open the door!
On the double! We're going to Puerto Rico to steal all their waifu body pillows because they are superior to ours.
Ah, okay. So why did you bring light?
If we get caught, we need to pin the blame on someone and he's expendable. I'm sorry for being obnoxiously gay and refusing to go to Jesus Camp Kai. I'll change, I swear. You came in my socks and screamed, "Oh yes, Shockwave Daddy," just like that. Fuck off.
I get this is an intro skit, but for someone who goes on later to talk about how boring and long mine is, this is fucking exhausting. Being a hypocrite doesn't make him... Being a hypocrite makes him twice as bad, as he sees a problem with doing it, yet he thinks it's fine when he does it.
Sounds like a girl on Twitter who's sighing through text.
Inconsistent sprites causes the attention to be taken away from the focus of the video. His collab partner has better sprites than him. Wow.
And he thinks that sexual comedy is funny all the time.
How are these sprites inconsistent though? You never explained this point at all. I guess that it's because of the usage of both JPEGs and PNGs, but that's just a guess. And basing claims off of guesses alone is dumb because guesses can always be wrong. So please actually have some depth to your points, Citrus. It's not that hard.
Also, Foster, critiquing your he thinks using sexual humor all the time is funny. How is this a problem exactly? I mean, you were trying to say that he has too much sexual humor in the video, then that's fine. But you just say that and move on without any sort of elaboration as to how else this is a problem.
I'm sorry, you were saying?
I could be watching tentacles go into female genitals, and instead I'm doing this.
Okay, we're going to be here a while, so...
I swear to God, Sarah, if you ask me if I like Care Bears, I will give you a fucking sex change.
I was just gonna ask if you wanted to do a co-op, or maybe you think I like Care Bears. Though I will still take you up on that sex change.
Why though?
Do you know how awkward it is to be in class when we have a giant stick coming out of your lower region?
They say it will go down if you come, and I can help you with that. Maybe I should have just Lee Harvey Oswald did his ass when I had the chance.
Wow, this is some real edgy shit, and the punchline is pretty much just, haha, isn't this so anti-PC? Lol, I'm cool.
What was the point of this intro skit anyways? Is it satire? Is it a story that doesn't relate to the topic at hand? You got me pretty confused here, man.
Oh my god, these long ass pauses are going to be the freaking death of me.
The jokes aren't well written and funny. The overuse of sexual humor is becoming annoying and bland.
How do you manage to make raunchy humor and not get any of it through as funny, along with that overtly sexual behavior of these characters? It's just a bit over the top.
Wait, so Foster's gonna say that he doesn't understand the point of the skit, but now he is acknowledging the use of raunchy humor, which implies you know that the skit is humorous. Let me get this straight. You get the point of the skit, but you also don't get the point of the skit. What kind of Schrodinger's cat bullcrap is this?
I'm pretty sure that the intro skit showed what they actually did before they wrote their points.
This is exhausting to listen to. Your timing is shit, your humor seems completely shock-based and weak, and it really just boils down to you saying cock, tit, butt, porn, fag, autism over and over again.
How the crap is this bad timing though? This is something that you haven't explained yet, and it's something that will never be expanded upon, ever. It's kind of hard for your points to be considered valid when you don't expand upon them at all, especially because it's practically impossible for us to know what the issue is and how it can be fixed.
Honestly, this is just going to present another problem in this video in the future. The fact that they'll also interject in joke interjections and just say, this wasn't funny. Which frankly makes their video longer than the original video they're covering and making this a chore to sit through. They could have skipped over these jokes after they addressed that Kainu and Saris' jokes aren't funny, but them interjecting every time to remind the audience the same point about the jokes just seem pointless and redundant as we go on.
Or at least explain the difference between being gay and being lesbian. Wait, no, we're getting off topic. Kai, you got any material with you?
Well, my cat died, and when it did, it came back to life, and as a result, left a video in its litter box.
Okay, you know what? That actually sounds pretty normal compared to the rest of my week. Anyways, by who?
Undead Meow.
Sounds overly edgy and like someone who doesn't like anime. Let's do it!
I'm edgy? Huh? Really? Me? The guy pretending to be a zombie cat is edgy. Oh my god! Oh my god!
It's already 2 minutes in the video and we haven't gotten to the fucking point of the video!
Okay, ignoring the fact that Meowth kinda interjects in a part where they were just poking fun of his personality and distaste for anime, then drags it out by a media clip that goes out for too long, when he could have just cut it shorter by just showing the clip of his head being shown as the guy screamed, then leave out the scene of the trolls eating altogether, and ergo executing this much better. But Foster, you do know you could just skip their intro skit as a whole and go to the main video at hand, right? I mean, maybe you were trying to point out that their intro skit is dragged out as well, and I can see it as valid, but you three haven't even reached the meat of the video as well, and been dragging it out as a whole. Because so far you've been needlessly interjecting in almost every 5 seconds with nitpicks and not fast forwarding context that you're not covering or skipping said context you won't cover.
God took a shit on our wedding, it wasn't meant to be.
Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce you to Undead Meowth, a newer commentator who's more reaction based, who made a video on my video, on Ellis Mark's video, on Butch Hartman.
What did you say, nigga?
That's racist! Someone's gonna call me an SJW over this, I swear.
I got no comment on this.
I am not a commentary channel, I am a reaction channel, and yet you even criticize me reacting to you later. What the fuck, you thick little thunder cunt.
So let's look at Undead's video style for a second. He uses an avatar, and he provides counter-arguments towards the videos he covers. Both of these are traits of commentators. Meanwhile, reactors don't give criticism, and they just, well, react. They also use facecam, which is something that commentators usually don't do.
A counter-argument to this could be that Undead Meowth's style is just different from most reactors. This could be seen as valid until you realize that Undead's videos are labeled as, and I quote, catnip commentaries.
Wait, what?
You heard me correctly. I did not stutter.
Look, Meowth, if you didn't want other people to label you as a commentator, then why did you label yourself as a commentator? You know, someone who makes commentaries? That makes no sense! If you wanted to be associated with reactionists, then you could have easily labeled your videos as reactions. It really isn't hard.
When I come to pop, now we do super fun.
Jesus, he hasn't even said anything and there's already an issue. First off, your keyframing is so fucking slow that it takes you 30 goddamn seconds to start talking. You could have shortened the part of your character going down the stairs to about 5 to 10 seconds. I know you use Sony Vegas. You should know how to do this.
Wow, the irony. I'm pretty sure that Undead's intro is shorter than your 2-minute long piss take.
You should know how to do this. Hey, it's almost like I intended to build atmosphere.
So? That's no excuse for having 30 seconds of silence. If you really wanted to build atmosphere, then you could have at the very least put in creepy music. It isn't hard, all you need to do is drop it in your editor. Also, just because you had a reason for doing something, that suddenly doesn't excuse what was done. You might have a reason for leaving in 30 padded out seconds without audio, but that doesn't suddenly justify what was done.
If I can strengthen Kainu's point, you do know that with quick keyframes you can still build atmosphere, right? While it wasn't necessarily silent, I could exactly hear some background noise coming. Rather faint, but I know it's there. While you don't have to necessarily add background music, you could use the same background noise you had there and boost it up a bit to make it more audible and add some more atmosphere.
Douchefag. I'm getting tired of this shit. Where's Kainu?
You have one opponent left. You must defeat.
Wait, are you implying?
Extra, read all about it. Kailu from the Front Yardigans has actually been the Crimson Chin all along.
Hey.
No comprehendo.
That joke has no base to it, and it makes no sense with all the context of the footage.
You know what? Foster's right. The joke doesn't make sense within the context that was played. But guess what? That's the point. It's random humor. And I know you understand the concept of random humor because you used some random humor earlier in this video.
Listen here, you little weeb fag.
That's no good.
It's fine if you don't like random humor, but that's no excuse for missing the point.
Look, Dwebley, if we explain every joke that goes over their head, we'd be here all day, and I think that's the last thing we both want.
Well, you're really going to hate an interjection coming up.
Hey, you stole that plotline from fucking Scott Pilgrim vs. the World.
I have no idea what you are talking about.
You know, at the end of Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, the final boss, like after the climax of the movie, he had to fight a negative version of...
Dude, nice background. That's a fantastic Undertale reference.
Don't even fucking start on that.
The fuck are you even talking about? All I used was a BCC media generator. I'm so confused. How is this a point anyways? Haha lol, he Undertale SJW, he make poo poo intro. To be honest, I barely even remember Undertale.
Well, I am disappointed.
No, this is not supposed to be a point. It's a joke. Also, what's the point of saying that you barely remember Undertale? Throughout this video, you've been critiquing and debating, yet you're not doing that here. Hell, this isn't even a joke, so the statement is just pointless at best.
Not only that, but if I may be frank, this is a cop-out statement. This interjection that Meowth made could have been removed and nothing would change.
To be fair, that sums up most of the statements made in this video.
If anything, it's closer to Earthbound than Undertale in that reference. Quote-unquote reference.
Oh dear, that is a big r/whoosh.
Holy crap, I haven't seen anyone miss the point this badly since my infamous Dark Side video. Yes, the background is similar to the aesthetic of the Gaius fight in Earthbound. Guess what? That was the point of the joke. Remember that one game theory video where MatPat said that the Undertale character Sans was the same character as Earthbound's Ness, and that the game shared the same canon? Remember how that video was so hated to the point where it became a freaking meme? This boy is proof that you put next to no effort or thought into this, and it shows throughout the rest of this video.
This is just honestly a bit sad, since we have one side who thinks that this interjection is a point when it isn't, and we have another side who almost gets the joke, but ultimately didn't understand what the joke was. So if anything, Foster was sorta halfway there, but no dice.
Wait, holy fuck, this is exactly what I was talking about. This right here. Guys, where the fuck are you? Am I the only one seeing this shit? What the I'm gonna get out of here.
This intro skit sucks actual cock. You didn't explain to us who this Kainu guy is or what happened to him. So to any newcomers to your channel, they will be very confused.
This is an intro skit, Kainu. It's not context to the video fully.
Oh, what's the point of you saying this?
Way to dodge the point. Just because it is in context for the video fully, that doesn't suddenly remove the fact that the lack of context can still be seen as a problem.
Also, we have yet more condescending remarks from Meowth. This attitude of his will just grow worse and worse through this video, won't it?
Oh, you don't even know, but you will in due time.
How it do, my stillborn cat litter? My name's Undead Meowth, and before you ask, why are mommy and daddy fighting?
Cause daddy never took out the trash and is so bad in bed that it causes mommy to have to fake all her orgasms.
Poo poo pee pee, daddy's cummies, oh whoa, tentacle hentai. We fucking get it already, cunt.
And no, we aren't above potty humor. It's just that you make the Emoji Movie look like Into the Spider-Verse with your forced comedy.
What?
That's rather unfortunate.
What? That isn't toilet humor. Toilet humor refers to excrement and urination. That's sexual humor because the joke revolves around an orgasm. You know, the thing someone experiences while having sex?
At this point, I'm convinced Foster really did smoke that catnip. I don't know how anyone would ever confuse sexual humor for potty humor.
Mommy, it's not his fault he gets drunk all the time because he hates his side job as a waiter at Weenie Hut Juniors.
He hates the fact that he's always around wieners that are bigger than his own.
Kainu, you fucking idiot. You take the joke that Undead makes and then stretch it out too long and run it into the dirt.
Oh my god, so it taking 30 seconds for me to begin talking is bad, but you going on a tangential banter for the same amount of time over something that was A, not a point, and B, not necessary to cover, is A-O-fucking-K, I guess.
Are you calling hypocrisy? If you are, then this really isn't hypocrisy. Hypocrisy would be like me saying, don't go around stabbing people. Then I turn around and stab Tippy. And no, I do not regret stabbing her.
Stop being so sadistic!
Get out of my video before I stab you again. Back to the point at hand though, Kanye's issues stem from the fact that Meowth let in 30 drawn out seconds of silence. The hypocrisy card doesn't work here because Kainu never had 30 seconds of silence. His 30-second tangent still had audio. This is such an apples to oranges comparison to the point where it's not even funny. And if this isn't the hypocrisy card, then honestly I don't get the point of this interjection because your wording implies that this is the hypocrisy card.
Just realize I have no actual beef with Kainu, and yeah, this is the subject of today's catnip commentary.
Also, you admit that your video is a commentary. This debunks Meowth's points about his videos being reactions. And no, you cannot be a reactor and a commentator at the same time because they are two different styles of content.
I mean, didn't Meowth say that he was a reactionist in the comments of Kainu's video on Meowth? It's like what Sarah told him in his reply to that comment.
See, normally I would nitpick this, but it sets the mood for what the audience should be experiencing throughout the rest of this video, so I can't really give any negatives.
I can say the same, as this interjection is a good element of what to expect. As Undead Meow throughout this video just pauses on a frame of Crimson Chin's video instead of throwing in an avatar, which, while no, it's not the biggest hits in the world.
It would be a nice feeling to grow up the biggest hits in the world.
What?
This video is so devoid of substance to the point where I have to think horny thoughts to entertain myself, okay?
The youth these days.
It's still worth fondling over, especially given the video after and before this in the case of the manga comment video he did, where he does show that he has an avatar, an animated one to boot, yet he doesn't use it throughout this video, which comes off as lazy.
For fuck's sake, you show a clip of his avatar and then you're calling what he does as lazy. It pales in comparison when you use Google Images as your talk sprites.
Can you not? Now, I would usually just say, not everyone's an artist and not everyone can afford commissions for an OC and get it over with, but I want to take a different approach to this. This is the red herring fallacy, which is a type of fallacy where you derail a conversation at hand by bringing up something that only barely relates to the topic at hand. Logical fallacies are regarded regarded as some of the worst arguments that can be used while debating, so using a fallacy really isn't something to be proud of.
Also, how is the usage of Google Images as avatars lazier than not using an avatar even though you have one? I don't get your logic, Foster, and the fact that you don't elaborate just makes your claim weaker. Cause I mean, sure, we're just taking avatars that we find from Google Images and other sites that give us said pictures, but at least it takes some amount of effort to find them, which that is the opposite of lazy.
If Foster makes one more bare bones point, I will come into his house at night and I will have a civil discussion with him on why he should elaborate on his points.
Not going to lie, I thought that you were going to take that in a completely different direction.
He pauses the video at a random fucking moment so he can draw attention to his voice.
Love the implication that you cannot draw attention towards your voice while using an avatar. Me and Dwebley are currently using avatars right now to emphasize our emotion, hence drawing attention to what we say. There is no excuse for Meowth's lack of an avatar.
One, frick you.
I've heard you call people faggots. Why the fuck are you saying frick instead of fuck? Are you fucking kidding me? I'm sorry, are you freaking kidding me?
Perhaps it's because he's using a character who in lore is supposed to be a holy angelic being who's horny on main. And sure, you might not know this given it is in one of Kai's older videos, which would be understandable, and I can even see where this would be coming from given Kai has used a more vulgar tongue in the past.
Shut up, faggot.
Case in point. However, given this is not Kai saying this, but rather his character Light, it would be subtly giving away that Light doesn't swear.
This is so confusing. What the fuck are you on about? Giving into the nitpicks is just terrible and it makes you look like you're trying to cover your ass.
How is this a nitpick? A nitpick would be a minor complaint that barely affects the video at hand. Meanwhile, Stardust is criticizing Meowth's point at hand, and, well, Meowth's video has been point-driven so far.
Assumptions. Look, the whole Google image avatar thing is already confusing enough to me. How the fuck am I supposed to know some obscure character from one of Kainu's vids from before I was even in the CC? The fuck, y'all homo erectus.
Oh my god, this is just excuses to point. Meowth never saw Kainu's commentary on Keemstar. Guess what? This counters nothing.
It should have been clear that from Sarah and Kainu's co-op video and the LS Mark video, Light was a separate character from the start because 1. He has a higher pitched voice compared to Kai. 2. He has a completely different personality from Kai. And 3. He uses a completely different avatar, which is Pit from Kid Icarus. In other words, analyze the situation clearly before you jump to conclusions. Please and thank you.
Jumping to conclusions is my favorite athletic activity.
If you've never actually had sex, clap your hands.
I relate to the skip card on a personal level.
Should I pity you or laugh awkwardly at you?
Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce today's target, LS Mark, a ranter who makes videos on mainly other YouTubers and gives them critique. He made a video on Butch Hartman and why he dislikes him.
I will stab anyone who disrespects Senpai Butch. This is so fucking hard to watch. This is killing me. This is physically killing me. Not just because of all the anime weeaboo, oh whoa, what's this type shit, but mainly for the fact that you're already stating that this is biased as shit, and you're only doing this to defend Butch Hartman regardless of what LS Mark's statements actually even are.
That was a fucking joke. You can clearly tell Kai was trying to make a running gag that Light is biased towards Butch. This doesn't prove that Kai is biased, considering A, this is another character, and B, right after this, he makes a statement basically saying that he doesn't feel the same way. Yeah, you have fun with that. We can see that this was a joke, and even if it wasn't, a bias isn't inherently bad, as so long as it doesn't cloud his judgment when making a point, then what's the issue?
Also, I love how you say this right before I say I'm skipping the first 5 minutes of the video because Mark had valid points. Anyway, I'll be skipping the first bit of the video considering his points are valid, and the worst parts of the video are deeper in.
Okay, let's see those valid points that you agree with, Kainu. The first minute of this video is LS Mark making a intro skit. And then the next 50 seconds is Mark explaining the person who Butch Hartman is. So you agree with the first 3 minutes and 10 seconds of the video of Mark calling it clickbait. I have no words.
Wait, so now there is an issue with Kainu agreeing with LS Mark that clickbait is inherently a bad thing? What? You don't even explain this. You just say that you're speechless towards this action, which implies that there is a problem here, but you move on. Foster, you realize that clickbait is inherently a bad thing because it's dishonest towards the people who clicked on the video, right?
But Vega, this isn't a problem anymore because our Lord and Savior Foster said so. All hail Foster! All hail Foster!
Right. I would follow along by saying all hail Foster, but me being a priest in my canon, that just make me feel weird.
So let's not beat around the bush. Butch, you're no hot shit. You only created 2 good shows, both of which got terrible after a few seasons when the original writers left, so I don't know how involved you were with making them any good.
Except, creating them. Ellis Mark is trying to make a point here saying that the writers were the only thing that carried the show, and after the writers left, both shows started sucking. So, nice job at letting the point go over your head.
I was only arguing the last part of Mark's statement where he says, I don't know how involved you were with making them any good. I was stating that Mark is not giving Butch enough credit for making the shows. He still made 2 good shows that did very well. He came up with the idea for them and wrote multiple episodes and designed the characters. Just because they got bad later on doesn't mean he had no impact and can't brag in any way about making those 2 shows.
You should have mentioned that fact in your video, however you don't. You don't understand how to give context to what you're answering.
And right when we cut back to the video, Kainu and Light say this.
He still did create 2 shows that did well, and that fact is undeniable. It annoys me how this guy is trying to make creating 2 successful shows seem like an easy thing. Like, do you know how hard it is to make a show, period? Let alone one that does well and that people enjoy.
Kainu did explain this stuff in the original video. You just couldn't listen to it, and you take him out of context. But hey, cherry picking is fun, right, Vega?
I mean, if you're talking about actual cherries themselves, then yes, cherry picking is fun.
This video is 40 minutes long for a reason. It would have been much shorter if these parts didn't drag out for so long. Couldn't you, I don't know, at least have sped it up or something?
I like how they complained about Kainu and Sarah's video being longer than the video the co-op covered, but then we have these 3 poor unfortunate souls being the longest one of this chain. Can this be considered comedic tragedy?
Ellis Mark is setting these up as points for when he later says that Butch Hartman is making an argument from authority when he really shouldn't.
Wow, and then now you and your 2 dickholes literally debunked nothing. Just because he explains it later on doesn't remove the lack of elaboration here, or how this could have been safer when he does elaborate on this.
Basically, what your point does is ignore Light's point for the sake of setup. Just because the point was set up for something else doesn't mean the point wasn't shit. And it doesn't mean Mark wasn't giving Butch the credit he deserves for making 2 successful shows and made 2 successful shows seem easy. Which was Light's fucking point.
Jesus, Kai, calm down. It was your time of the month just last week.
I will fucking kill you, you fruity fucking weirdo.
Dee Dee, open the door!
On the double!
So far, most of your counterpoints are, this sucks dick. Like, K, thanks for the riveting input.
Alright, so what? Is it suddenly a problem that they are telling you why your video sucks? I could say that about almost any commentary out there. In fact, that's kind of the basis of a commentary. You take a flawed video, you critique it, and possibly give advice for your target of the commentary.
You also made 3 terrible Fairly OddParents live-action movies, and worst of all, you ruined the fucking Magic Roundabout. He seems to think he's the second coming of Christ. He acts like he hasn't made a bad show in his life.
And your proof of this is him saying in his channel trailer that he's affected pop culture for 30 years.
Hey there, I'm Butch Hartman, the creator of...
Yeah, no, it definitely doesn't seem like he's trying to cover up any terrible projects he's worked on before. I took that clip from his Oaxis Kickstarter trailer too, so don't even tell me that this was made before a time where he even went on to do terrible shit, because in his Oaxis video he doesn't talk about any terrible shows he's made before. You can compare what I just played and what Ellis Mark just played side by side, and it's very clear what the point is.
To make a good trailer as a means of making people want to support him?
Butch Hartman skates around the fact that he made Dougal. Things are about to get hairy.
Look, I get you have 2 dickholes, but I didn't realize they also put holes in your brain, too. You say Butch acts like he never made a bad show while using his channel trailer as an example. Yeah, Kainu, do you know any reason the channel trailer, or even a trailer in general, would show off the worst of something when it's meant to be promoting them to an audience who might be interested in the best of something someone's made?
I mean, who the fuck wouldn't want to watch more of my content after seeing the final shot?
To be fair, that is your best video.
Because everyone knows if you're not using your worst work to promote yourself, then you're avoiding the fact that you made it, right? 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 What will it take for you to understand my points? I didn't say I agreed with the sentiment. I am disagreeing with you saying it proves nothing.
Also, are you really taking the Dougal shit seriously? Really, you big homo.
Kainu, fucking learn to take a joke for once in your goddamn life, you simple-minded, autistic, retarded dipshit. It's almost like you want to suck Butch's pee-pee out of his peen.
Guys, you do realize that jokes can still have points behind them, right? It's kind of like saying how over-exaggerations can have points behind them. For example, I could say that this video makes me want to shoot myself, and though that isn't literally true, the hyperbole still has a point behind it because it implies this video is terrible.
Also, may I just say how Meowth and Foster treat Meowth's original point as a joke, even though it doesn't feel like a joke and it wasn't even delivered like a joke? Yeah, it's kind of hard for people to understand a joke while talking in the same monotone voice you talked throughout the whole video. Don't get me wrong, doing jokes with a monotone voice isn't a bad thing on its own. After all, deadpan comedy is a thing, which for those who don't know, deadpan comedy is a form of comedy that expresses lack of or no emotion in contrast of the ridiculousness of what they're saying. Now with that definition in mind and having Meowth's previous interjection in mind as well, this means that Meowth's original point could have been a joke, but one which was executed poorly, because he sounded like he was stating a possibility as to why Butch made these trailers and why they don't show his not so well received projects. Yeah, everything Meowth said, apart from the things are about to get hairy part, was delivered in a voice that made him sound like he just did it all in one take and called it a day.
It's like you guys couldn't admit to Undead's mistake, so you claimed that it was a joke without any second thought.
So, I'm sorry, Butch. You shouldn't be making videos about, oh, how I'd make Teen Titans Go better, and oh, the Teen Titans Go movie trailer was horrible. You can't say shit when you wrote Dougal.
So because he made some mistakes in the past, the criticism he has towards other shows or movies is null and void because he's not perfect himself?
He's trying to make Butch Hartman seem egotistical when he has no right to be.
But Mark said you can't say shit when you wrote Dougal, implying his point is that Butch can't criticize other shows when he's not perfect himself. And if his point was to show how Butch is egotistical, his wording is dog shit.
Are you really going to play out this clip without having anything to say about it?
Which, in fact, is fucking retarded, because if you even watch the first movie he brings up, how I would make Teen Titans Go better, it has nothing to do with the actual show. It's just Butch Hartman talking about how he's going to, quote-unquote, revive an old superhero franchise. What the fuck? Did neither of you watch the video? Did neither of you actually watch the fucking video? I don't know who to be ashamed of more, Kainu or LS Mark, because this is just lazy.
Meowth of Team Rocket, you frickin' Regan. What's a Regan? Ah! Where is your proof, your evidence, your recite, your story time animation? Seriously, if you don't have evidence to prove this, then I'm sorry, but you're going to be taken about as seriously as Scrappy Doo talking about how white people are not getting the respect we deserve.
If Cartoon Network came to me and said to make a comedic version of Teen Titans, I would say no. Instead, I would take a different DC property called Legion of Superheroes and turn that into a comedic cartoon.
My god, Meowth, you're missing the point again. Cerdas said that you should have showed the evidence, but his point was that you should have done this in your original video.
To add on to this, just because you give evidence now, that doesn't excuse the fact that you didn't show it in the original video, since they're critiquing that problem within said video. Besides, you're only showing the description of that video, not the video in question. A description at this point is only the bare minimum of the video and doesn't show the full context. Sure, it shows what it is about, but that's just a small amount and, again, not the full context.
And why didn't you fact check me? And don't say it wasn't your job. It was your job when you made the first video, you fucking kraut. Ceradust, shut your fucking mouth. You are a fucking retard who doesn't know shit about how to commentate, okay? Sit down and let big boys talk.
Where do I even begin? First of all, why the hell is it Sarah's job to do your legwork for you? You give no reasoning or elaboration for this point, so I have no reason as to why you think this. Give me a reason to actually take your point into account, because I currently have no clue why you think this. Second of all, this feels like you're just shoving arbitrary rules on the commentaries, when there are not really any rules to commentating. Sure, there are things that commentators should avoid when they are commentating, like the use of fallacies or repeating yourself or being stupid, which is something that you obviously didn't even try to avoid. But at the end of the day, there really aren't any rules. And third of all, apparently Ceradus is retarded because he doesn't want to show your evidence for you. You cannot be serious. You actually can't.
I think he's serious.
Well, In that case,
my god, yeah, you've said a lot of dumb things in this video, but this, getting onto someone's case for not showing your evidence is dumb and all, but straight up calling him a retard because he didn't want to show your proof for you is actually pathetic. You make people like Dick Sponge and Marcus Yamamoto look like gosh dang saints in comparison with this obnoxiousness.
Are you okay? Do you need me to heal you?
You know what? Screw the rest of this video. Final thoughts time. And Vega, you're going first because I need a chance to calm down.
Okay, Dweb. Hope you feel better. Anyways, this video was, simply put, a giant mess filled with disjointed partners and bare-bone points. Goodness gracious. This video was just overly long, with half of the video being pointless interjections, other half being filled with insults, and another half filled with points going over your heads. I'll give my advice one-on-one. Starting with you, Foster. You had decent points, but some of them just flew over your head or you straight up missed the point. If you want my advice, I can tell you that you should probably analyze more the situation and the problem that the person is saying rather than jumping to conclusions. I know you probably won't take my advice now, since a little dove told me that you recently got back to YouTube after some incidents. But that doesn't mean this advice isn't without merit and that the audience can't learn from your mistakes. Citrus, look, I'll be real with you here. Not saying that you don't exist or anything in this commentary, but you could have contributed much more into this. Your interjections were merely one-liners or half-decent points, but without any elaboration. I saw your video about your response to Night Tie-Dye's commentary on the try-op video, and for the sake of privacy, I will not link down the video in the description. But if you're watching this, Citrus, I'm not doing this to insult you or attack you. If anything, we want to help you and the other two through this commentary. If you ever want to partake in this, make sure that you try and contribute into your points by trying to make them more than just one-liners, and also elaborating on them. Now, Meowth, I know that you were critiquing Kainu and Sarah's video, that much is certain, but there is a fine line between critiquing and another thing is just throwing insults at them at their expense. But if it wasn't insults, it was also saying excuses at them for your own mistakes. Meowth, just because you gave an excuse as to why something happened in the video that they point out, that does not mean it makes the problem go away. If you did bad, you did bad. As someone I know always say, excuses are only good for those that give them. Now, because of this video, does this automatically mean you three are inherently bad? No. You three have the potential to be commentators. I know that Foster already kinda came back from a certain event for his own reasons, but that doesn't mean he doesn't have the potential. He does. But so does Meowth and Citrus. If Citrus does continue doing this, that is. I know that you guys are only human and make mistakes, but I do hope that you learn from these mistakes and see your content grow from all that growing. Alright, Dwebley, your turn.
So admittedly, I usually don't give final thoughts, and Vega said most of the things that I wanted to say, but I do have some points towards Undead Meowth. I haven't been the biggest fan of your works, to say the very least. In fact, I remember watching your video on Jonah Smith, and I just thought it was really bad. And speaking of which, you really haven't improved much from that video on Jonah. You're still making excuses, missing the point of arguments, and acting condescending towards your targets. These were all issues that Inno, Doodle, and Lunatic had with your video. And I know you watched the videos that they made on you because you made a response where you gave your thoughts on them. I want to see you improve. I wouldn't have made this video if I didn't. And I don't even think you're a lost cause. Who am I, Space Guru 5? But if I'm being honest here, I came into this video hoping that you learned from your past mistakes, and I left disappointed. Also, can I just point out the fact that this is a co-op, yet you three barely even interacted? If you ask me, that kinda defeats the point of this being a co-op, not gonna lie. After all, co-op is synonymous with collaboration. I know that I come off as angry in my videos, but I'm only rarely mad at the videos I cover. However, this is one of the few times where I was actually upset at a video. And if I'm continuing to be honest here, this is probably the worst commentary on Kainu that I've seen. And I watched the Dustin Makes Vids com on him, but at times, I feel like you made Dustin look like a genius in comparison. I feel like I just lifted a lot off my back. Feels satisfying, relieving even.
Well, that's good to know, Dwebley. Say, since you have Sekibanki as your avatar, does that mean she's your waifu?
Can you not assume that she's my waifu?
Wait, what? But I thought that you were...
Why don't you go play your dumb anime sword trash weeaboo game or something?
What? But but we're both, forget it. I'll take my leave. But let me just let you know that Severa is a trash daughter and waifu.
Well, now that that's over, what was I gonna do exactly? Forget it. I'm going to go contemplate on my life choices now.